What was it like, and how did you fit in and get involved into your community?
So in Indianapolis, I started off as a hairstylist. I was a hairstylist for about 15 years professionally in the city, and I began integrating back then. Um, so I was one of those stylists who was booked and busy, but in a good way with purpose. I decided to focus my clientele on young Black girls who were adopted by multiracial families. So I became known for that in my city. That's the only reason it was so hard for me to let that go because the little girls, I changed their lives so much. And the moms who really wanted to do something for their daughters, but they just didn't know how. So during the pandemic, of course, I had to close down my salons, but I had to figure out how I was going to make money. So I decided to start creating artwork. People didn't really know I was an artist. This was 4 years ago. I was really creating behind doors. People I did hair for, I would like hang some of my artwork and they'll ask like, oh, who's the artist? And I'm like, I am. Like, what? So during the pandemic, I like really tapped into my artwork, started applying for calls. That was around March, April. By the time June hit, it was time for me to go back to the salon. It was like, I do not want to do this anymore. I have scoliosis, so I was in chronic pain doing hair. I went to a chiropractor 3 times a week just to reset for the next day. And during those 2 months, I was pain-free for like the first time in my life. So I was like, okay, there's no way I could do this anymore. So I gave myself 6 months to the end of the year, which was January. And then I announced to the world that I'm a full-time artist. They were like, when did you ever do art? Like, you're an artist? So I started putting my work out there, applying to calls in the city through the Arts Council. 3 months in, I got this project for Swish Indie with March Madness, and that landed me on the cover of the New York Times in the art and culture section. So I was like, I'm gonna give myself 4 months into the year. I set a goal. I set an annual goal that I said I'm gonna give myself 4 months, 4 to 6 months, and if I don't make it, then I'll get another job. I wasn't going back to doing hair. Within 6 months, I made my full-time in my head salary, which was crazy for an artist.